Well, it's been 1 week since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and let me say it has been a tumultuous week for a lot of people. Many of my friends over at the Rogues Gallery have been doing their best. A lot of people I know are just trying to get by after that long week of dealing with somebody so valuable, so loving and caring and important to this world being taken from us so unceremoniously. And it's been a very difficult time in that period. And how have we responded? Well, we've responded in kind. No, we haven't killed any of them, and thank God for that, but we have decided to show them exactly what it is that they've been doing to us for years, for decades, for as long as I've been politically aware. The left has been attacking the right. And yes, once upon a time I was a part of that left, but now I'm on the side that was victimized. And I see it very clearly that what we're doing is incredibly justified of going through and taking their jobs. Because guess what? It is an OSHA violation to support violence and to support terroristic activity. That is an objective OSHA violation and a violation of the law. And you deserve to lose your job should you be the kind of person to go out there and celebrate terrorism and celebrate the murder of this man, or any person for that matter. If you say that any of your coworkers deserve the same fate, or any conservative deserves the same fate, you are doing the same thing. You are cheering on terrorism, and that is a direct violation of OSHA. And so you do deserve to lose your job. And that is what has happened. We've been going through and we're finding all of these people celebrating and making sure that they never dare to celebrate again because they see the consequences. But I've had some reason to pause, some cause to question whether or not this is the correct way to go. Because while I do firmly believe that every single one of these people deserve the comeuppance they've been shown, that every single one of these people who dare to celebrate such an atrocity deserves to lose their job, I have been forced to ask the question of, should they? Yes, they deserve to, but should we be taking it from them? And I'll just say outright, I don't have a definitive answer. I can't say for sure whether or not I think we should be taking these psychopaths' jobs from them, but I do know that I'm not fully satisfied with the fact that we are. I'm not fully satisfied with the idea that the right is partaking in a form of cancel culture. Yes, this is consequence culture, actual consequence culture. We're not canceling them for things they said a decade ago. We're not punishing them for making innocuous statements. No, we're directly punishing them for the act of celebrating terrorism, and that is a good thing. That is something we should be doing, and that is righteous. Don't get me wrong, and I understand that there's a lot of bloodlust and anger and hatred and sadness behind a lot of the right now. But in a similar vein, I feel a sense of doubt. I feel like we are doing a little bit too much of what they did to us. We're giving them a little bit too much of their own medicine. And the reason why I have some doubt about that is I worry we might become like them and we might embolden them to do worse. After all, there was a report that supposedly a mysterious bag was left outside of a Turning Point USA headquarters that had the bomb squad called in because they didn't know what it was. And I'm worried that if we keep firing these deranged individuals, what we risk doing is turning them into the martyrs that they have made Charlie into. I legitimately fear that if we go after these gender deranged mental basket cases who don't even know what their gender is, if we go after them and if we get them fired, we take all of their social life away, remove all of their social avenues from them. How will they respond? When you look at the people destroying the vigils, who are the most despicable people who deserve to rot in the grossest of prisons, but you look at one of them, there was a woman who destroyed the one in Vegas who has a non-binary sibling, who both her sibling and herself were kicked out of their boyfriend's parents' house where they were living. So they lost their job, they lost their family, they lost their housing, they lost all their friends. And while they deserve to lose all of that, what's next? It started out with the destruction of a peaceful vigil. What are they going to do next? And I'm worried of this extreme aggression and this extreme escalation that the left will cause and will bring. And while that doesn't mean we should stop punishing them, that means we might need to be a little bit more cautious with how we go about punishing them. And admittedly, I'm a bit of a bleeding heart, so I do feel for any parents who we fire because their children don't deserve to suffer for the sins of the parents. Anybody who has any of these children whose parents have been fired for celebrating. Now the children are being forced to suffer a potentially irrecoverable position because of the comments of their parents. And yes, the comments are despicable and they should be punished for that. But does that mean we put them in a position where the children might have to go hungry? Where the children might be denied the ability to grow and to have their needs met? A huge portion of the reason I haven't uploaded a video in the last week is just Charlie Kirk has been on my mind nonstop. I haven't been wanting to talk about it because it's so hard to articulate how I feel. It's so hard to get it out there without an emotional outburst. And I don't want to be the kind of person who's out having these emotional outbursts. I want to be better than the opposition who rely exclusively on emotion. I've also had some busy days, such as going up to the Smoky Mountains. Love that place. Fantastic day. But even then, still, I was constantly thinking about Charlie and how horrible the world has become. But another reason I feel pause when it comes to our response to these terrible people is 2 days after Charlie was murdered, I had a very vivid, very strong dream where I was required to pay penance. I had done something mildly wrong. I had just caused a minor disturbance, and in response, in my dream, I was called to take a very Christian-themed penance. I told to one of my Catholic friends, and he said it was a very interesting, very powerful drawing on Christian themes, as I had to kneel before stained glass with a crown of thorns. In one hand, I held a basin, as it pointed down. Another, I held a sword against my arm. And I had to hold that position so that any kind of dragging, any kind of drooping of my muscles as my body got sore, any kind of movement would draw the sword along my skin, and the blood would accumulate in the basin, making it heavier. And when I woke up, I felt extreme pain in my arm from where the sword had rested. I felt incredible weight in my muscles. And it was... I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist. I've been very open about that. I do have a Bible here, because I've been planning to get into it eventually. This thing is huge. I haven't started yet, but it created a feeling I've never felt before. One that was like I had a dream sent by something, that it was sent to me, not that this was a natural occurrence of my brain figuring things out. And when I woke up, I felt a lot of the anger that I had about Kirk's assassination and about the people cheering it on. A lot of the anger had dissipated. I still hated them, but I felt cause to be ready to offer forgiveness and to allow for them to repent and to not take everything away from them. It felt as though something bigger than me, bigger than this world, was telling me that the firing wasn't the correct way to go. Which leaves me in a phenomenal spot of not having an answer as to where we should be going. But all I know is I feel pause. That maybe we shouldn't be going out in full force firing them, because we don't know what kind of consequences this will lead to. Yes, they deserve it. Yes, they should be barred from all of society for daring to celebrate such an atrocity. But is it our place to be the ones who bar them from society, or does that make us no better than the left who did the same to us? They ruined our lives if we refused to take an experimental vaccine. They ruined our lives if we refused to affirm gender confusion. They threatened to take our children, to remove us from society in every way, shape, or form. They threatened to put us in concentration camps. So they do deserve some kind of penance. They do deserve to see the comeuppance of every single thing that they called into effect, and they have celebrated the death of a good man. But even as I play this clip of Charlie Kirk's greatest debates, both in front of me and behind me, I am drawn to remember that he would not want them to be fired, and they killed him for being the moderate man. And now I'm stuck in a place where, do we prove the left right, that discourse is dead, or do we keep discourse alive? How do we balance the weight of punishing people by taking their jobs and maintaining Charlie Kirk's fervor for free speech, when Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are labeling their words as hate speech, something which Charlie Kirk and the entirety of the conservative movement should be staunchly against, this concept of hate speech? How do we square that away? How do we look at the fact that we have people over here calling this hate speech when we are a party who should oppose the concept of hate speech wholesale? And maybe it was a misspeak. Maybe they didn't legitimately mean to call it hate speech, because what they're doing is legitimately celebrating terrorism, which is a crime and has been since 9/11. And of course, there are a lot of jobs where they objectively need to be fired. If you are working as a teacher, if you are working as a member of the government, of the military, if you are in a position of high power, then you 1,000,000% should be fired. If you are in a position of PR, if you are working in a position of public relations, you 1,000,000% should be fired. But does every barista, every janitor, and every pencil pusher who celebrate need to meet the same fate? While they should, ought they? I know this is a ramble, and it's because I don't have the answer. I don't know what the answer is. All I know is that I am conflicted. I am in a position of being quite lost and am looking for other answers because I am not satisfied with the answers before us. They threw the first stone, so they do deserve whatever response we give to them. But I worry they took an eye from us. Charlie was such a bright and thoughtful eye. He could see everything. And for the allegory, at one point is it that we have decided to take the other eye. After all, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind, and while some vengeance is justified and necessary, dare I say, how much is too much? And of course, I say all of this as a news story comes out about how a Spirit airline flight decides to try and hit Donald Trump's Air Force One plane on its way to England. It's unclear whether or not the pilot was just piloting poorly or was deliberately trying to run into it, but they were ordered to turn as the plane just kept trying to get closer and closer to Air Force One. Was this a person deciding he wanted to become a martyr so that he could take down who he thinks is Hitler 2.0? Or was this just another DEI pilot gone astray? It's impossible to say with a lot of these cases, but it also goes back to the fact that these people believe we are Nazis. They believe that we are fascists, that we are evil, that we are demagogues. And they believe that it is their duty, their not God-given duty, their democratically given duty to eliminate all of us. But getting them fired from their job won't change their mind. If anything, it risks only making them infinitely more radicalized. Either way, I'm at a loss. I know this was a complete and utter messy ramble, that it was clear that I had no clue where I was going when I started this video. I just needed to get this off my chest because there is something blocking me from making my normal content. Yesterday, I sat down with the explicit intent of recording a Borderlands 4 video, and I got about 2 minutes into the recording when I was like, something's wrong. I can't do this video. Something is blocking me, and I'm trying to find out what that is. I know it has to do with my conflicting feelings, and so I need to work through those as well. And I know there needs to be some kind of way to answer for all of this weight, this hatred, this pain that all of us are feeling in response to the death of a good man, a great father, and a phenomenal husband. I want to answer this question in such a way that would leave Charlie Kirk happy, leave me morally sound, and hopefully help the world towards a better position. Because at some point we have to offer another olive branch. There comes a point where you must stop trying, but I don't know if we're at the spot where it's time to give up and to go to war. We're very close to that point, and I'm afraid of what happens if we do go to war with the left. We will win. Let's be very clear. We will destroy them. We will defeat them, and there will be nothing left of them. But is that the path we want to take? And so since I'm at a point where my anger and my grief have become so heavily entangled, and I'm trying not to be controlled just by my emotions, as I'm in a position where I am drawn to bloodthirsty vengeance and revenge and glorification of violence, and I don't want to be in that position because it's neither the position that the Bible, which Charlie held so dearly, told us to hold, and it is not the position that Charlie himself would ever have held. I ask you, what do you think is the next step? Is it really the best path forward to fire all of them? Should we be arming up for Civil War 2.0? Let's go, baby. Or should we open our hearts to forgive them? Or a better way to word it, should we keep them being fired for the time being, for the period of now, in the immediate aftermath of Charlie's death? Do we punish them now, and then, I don't know, in a month, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, we offer them clemency, we offer them a way back? One thing that has me worried is that if we fire them from their job now, that is going to be a permanent stain on their record forever, which might make it so they are unrehirable. It might put them in a position where they are not offered the opportunity to grow, to come back, to be able to re-enter society. Even if they have true repentance and true apology, we deny them the ability to be restored. And there can be no way to return without apology, without a way for them to apologize and to come back to society. And that's just my fear about keeping them fired. So, do we keep firing them for perpetuity, or do we do this for a period of time until the message is clear and then we offer them the forgiveness? Or is it time to offer forgiveness now? I'm lost. I don't know what the answer is. I'm sure you guys don't know what the answer is, but I'd love to come to a place of understanding and of continuity. I'd love to come to a place where we, as a conservative movement, can finally offer a hand to the left, especially to the leftists who have been abandoned by this extreme rhetoric. And we need a way forward, and I don't know if finding them all is a way forward. It might be the way forward. And that's why I need you guys to help point me in the right direction. But that's pretty much all I've got. Like, subscribe, let me know what you guys think.